It's good to have you with us on the Word of Encouragement here on this Friday. I trust you've had a good week. We've seen the Lord bless here, and we are encouraged as our ministries have begun. The college is going strong, and the academy, and our church ministry, and the Lord is so good. These are great days to serve Him. Just this last Sunday, we had a number of officials here as we remembered the 9/11 disaster of 2 decades ago, and then we honored a number of first responders. It was a tremendous time, and just to see that the gospel gets down to the hearts of people no matter what position they're in. God gave us wide open doors during that time, and that's what I want to focus on. Oftentimes this verse is mentioned when it comes to times of difficulty, when we see government doing that which we realize is wrong. The agenda of our present government is clearly not from a biblical perspective. And so we watch as we see things that are causing laws to be changed or procedures to be changed in regard to areas that are precious to us: religious freedom, morality, obviously the abortion life issue, and many other things. And so we're concerned. But we must realize that God is in control. And in the midst of what seems like a very difficult time, God can work. And so the verse that I'm referring to is the well-known verse, Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1. The king's heart, is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. Where is the king's heart? In the hand of the Lord. Now, my friends, God is not responsible for sin. God is not responsible for evil things in the world. But when God allows a government to do something, when He allows Satan to rule in his kingdom, for he is the God of this world, that very set of decisions, that ruling of whoever, will be used by God for good in our lives and will be turned for the forward movement of the gospel. Who would have thought during the time of Nero that the gospel would explode across the world? But it did. And you look at other times where Satan has just endeavored to stop the work of the Lord, that has turned to great blessing. You look in China at the cultural revolution that occurred that just seemed to go against all that the missionaries had done. And yet, in these last few decades, the church has just expanded in a way that is beyond what we would have ever expected. Over 100 million believers at least, if not far more. That's what our God can do. And God can cause a king, a ruler, a president to make decisions that he wouldn't normally make, but God has caused him to do it. And God can protect, God can work. He can bring up a ruler and bring down a ruler. We've seen things here in America change in just a moment many times because of God's working. And so we need to be encouraged that God will use anything that is of Satan and of this world. If He's allowed it, then we can count on God to use it to motivate us, to stir us, to wake up a culture, whatever it takes. But God is on the throne, and in His hand is all power, and we can trust Him. And we need not to feel weak and defeated from a spiritual standpoint. We are humanly, of course, but we are in the hand of an almighty God. And so is the king's heart in His hand. And He can turn it wherever He wants. And if we are in union with Him, God can use us to see wonderful things happen today. I trust you'll be encouraged today. Encouraged this weekend. God's on the throne. He will work, and we can praise His name.